Hello, Scorpio. Thank you for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot. Yep, old tarot I've had for a long time. Supportive Oracle cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace. Illustration by Elaine Marzin. Did I just move my table? Yes. Ah, okay. I think we're okay though. Okay. See if I can move it back. There we go. What do we have for Scorpio? Okay, there's 3 there already. Wow. Let me move this out of the way so I can... Alright. This might be a complicated one. I'm not sure yet. Alright, you got a lot of... This is going to be one of those situations where you may hit a moment where it's not going the way you really want it to, but that doesn't mean you're down and out. There may be a moment where you're really kind of questioning, like, okay, what are we going to do here? And it may feel like you failed, but I feel like you're going to turn it around. So it's almost like, I think I finally lost, but then you're going to turn the table and it's going to change. Starting off with a situation, there's a lot of cards. Woo! You got the 7 of Cups. You got is it the King? King of Rods. So you got the 7 of Cups with King of Rods, and there's a card hiding back here, right? That card is actually Justice. Now, I feel like it's very important to leave it hidden because you're going into something and you're trying to figure out what is actually the truth. How should this truth, like, almost like somebody did something and you're seeing something really weird go on and you're like, wait a minute. Are they victimized? Are they the victimizer? Or is this working out the way it should? And you're not really sure. You're trying to understand what's the fairness of the situation? What's the honest outcome that should happen? Because it's hidden, and it's like this is your perception. Like trying to understand. Like, wait a minute, are they the victimizer, the victim, or did this work out the way it was supposed to? Like, I'm not sure what's going on here, and you're actively trying to get involved because you're like, whatever's going on, whoever it is, means a lot to you. So you're like, if they're the victimizer, you need to shut them down with that and get them to stop. If they're the victim, you're not going to let that happen. You're going to pull them out. But if it's kind of like everything's balancing, the way it's supposed to be, you don't want to take a situation that's going the way it's supposed to be and create an imbalance. So you're really kind of like, I want to actively do something. I don't want to make a bad impact. That's the whole thing. It's very important to you. It's very complicated at this point. Like, I'm not looking to make things worse. I want to make things better. I'm not sure who's right, who's wrong here. It's hard to tell. And usually you can tell. There's a lot of stress here. There's a lot of stress here, and there's a lot of cause and effect. When I'm feeling the oneness card, I'm definitely an intuitive reader. I feel like I have to say that a lot when I have this card. It's kind of like cause and effect. Like one person's doing this, which when they do this situation over here, this person has the reaction to that, which makes them do this. Then that person has a reaction to that, and then they react the way they do. It's a lot of cause and effect. Like, it's almost like somebody, like if you have 2 kids, like if 2 5-year-olds, and one throws a mud ball at the other, they have a few different reactions they could have, but one of the reactions they could have is throw mud back. And like this could become an escalating situation, and the question is that what's going on? The thing is, it's also a perpetuating situation that seems to be creating more and more stress that you're seeming to be dragged into. More and more stress, more and more questions. It's getting so far out of hand that it's like it doesn't even matter how it started. How do we stop it? A lot of stress there. The Wheel of Fortune with the Eight of Wands, it's like there's a lot of fast movement too. That's another reason it's hard to tell. Because one person does one thing, another person does another. Other people are pulling in. That's the thing. It's like it might have started out with 2 or 3 people, but all of a sudden 5 more have added themselves into the situation to where there's now something that started off with 2 to 3 people now has 8, and all these people are cause and effect. One's doing this, that person's reacting, like cause and effect all over the place. That's like I don't even know who started what or what's going on. there's so many different reactions going on here that we just need to start shutting it down and slowing it down because this is getting ridiculous. This is why you're on the outside going, I'm not even sure what's really happening. I just need to slow this down. I definitely don't want to make this any worse. I don't want to add to this. I need to bring it down. We need to pull this down. We need to, start to lock this up and get this to simmer. Stop all these balls from bouncing all over the place and start catching balls and putting them down so we can see what we're dealing with here. Wheel of Fortune, the Eight of Wands is like people keep coming in, creating more confusion, comes in really quickly. Okay, so ironically, you step out because you're like, there's so many people involved. You don't see how you stepping in any farther makes anything better. So you step out because it's not going to help. And you're like, why would I do that if it's just going to make it worse? I'm going to step out. Five of Swords with the personal transformation. So this might be hard for you to do. And for some of you, maybe this is advice. I don't know. You have to take it with a grain of salt, whatever works for you. But kind of like, if I'm not going to make anything better, if I don't see how I can make it better, I'm just going to step out. It's hard. It's difficult. This is not an easy moment. Not an easy moment at all. So you're like, I don't even understand what's happening here. There's so much shrapnel everywhere. I don't even know. I'm just going to step back, and hopefully one of two things happens. Either somebody else gets in there and solves it because I don't understand what's happening, or it just kind of simmers down on its own, and then we can sort it out after. It does finally kind of like it starts to come to a close. You stepping out is a very, very positive, good thing, because I feel like you're inspiring somebody else, at least one other person, if not more, to do the same. Because like you're like, I don't see how I'm making things better. I'm backing off because I'm not into making this worse. Other people are like, you know what, Scorpio's got the right idea. I also don't see where I'm making things better. I'm going to step out too. And the more people who seem to step out, the more the situation seems to calm down and simmer down. Not everybody will step out, but enough will step out to where it can simmer down and the situation will stop. The Death card with meditation is kind of like the situation does finally stop. It stops. The meditation is kind of like, what was that about? Like people afterwards just kind of looking at each other like, I can't believe you did that to me. And somebody else saying, well, I can't believe you did that to me. And it's just kind of like, it's not starting up again, but like people are saying, well, you did this to me. Well, I did that to you because you did this to me. Well, I did that to you because you did this to me. And it's just kind of like finally people are realizing like it got way out of control. People are talking it out. Meditation is kind of like, it may be, I don't see it starting up again, but it's making me nervous. Kind of like, I can't believe you did that to me. Well, you did this to me. That's why I did that to you. Well, I did that to you because you did that to me before that. Well, before that, you did this to me. And it just seems to be constantly, well, you did that. Well, I did that because you did that. Well, I did that because you did that. And it keeps going back and forth. You're not involved in this, but it's maddening. To me, it's maddening. It's just like, at some point, somebody has to just finally say, well, it doesn't matter. Like, let's just heal it. Let's heal it. Let's apologize and just let's get through it. Ooh, this is face down, but I like this. Beauty. The situation, whatever was going on here, this whole crazy disruption, people need a moment to simmer, to pull back, to relax. I feel like people are going to start talking, and there's going to be that, that whole thing's got to go on. I don't really think you're going to be a part of that. But it's because you stepped out. You stepped out, so you don't have to be a part of that. You're probably going to hear about it afterwards, though. I'm pretty sure about that. Beauty in this situation, it's kind of like, that's a beautiful card. I just love the way that person looks. They just look awesome. I just think that looks so gorgeous. This is somebody just enjoying their life on their own terms, just running out there barefoot, enjoying life. Things are coming back in this situation. I feel like things are getting a lot better than expected. It's almost kind of like, really? A lot of positive cards popping out right at this moment. You're able to come back into the situation, and it's simmered down a lot where it's already on a path where it's on a path I feel like it's on a path of healing, but there's more to this. It's on a path of healing and improvement. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to say this. Like almost like somebody broke their arm, and now it's been set. But then, not only has it been set and it's healing, but now it's like, all right, we're looking at the cause. Like, oh, okay, this person's arm broke because they have weak bones because of like a lack of nutrient, or they need to do this. If they did this other thing, we could strengthen their bones so they would have a less likely chance of breaking it again. So it's kind of like we're healing what's wrong, but then we're adding in something to strengthen what was already there, so that way, it's going to be stronger than it was originally. That's kind of what I'm feeling with this. And you're seeing that and you're like, oh, I would love to help with that. Really? We're going to not only deal with this problem, heal this problem, but then work with it so it doesn't become like that again? I'm into that. Let's do that. Let's do things to make sure this doesn't become like that again. You got the Six of Wands, that's success. You're like, I'm all about that. I'm all here for it. Yes, let's do that. Let's do that. People are very helpful. They're also very honest, helpful, honest, and active. Helpful, honest, and active in making this situation better. Information is flowing to you. You probably are going to add to it, but you're already supporting what was already there. It might be kind of like, well, we need this to make that go better. And you're like, well, I know where to get it, and I know how we should do it. Let's do this. You might be adding in that sense. You're stabilizing this. You're coming back in at the right time. Everything seems to be working very well. The Ten of Pentacles, you're actively helping stabilize this situation. You're making this not only good now, it seems to be going forward in the future as well. Like the Ten of Pentacles is like a happy, stable, secure, like financially secure, usually home life. This can be like physically secure too, like somebody creating a better, healthy environment, stuff like that. Happiness is coming in with you and everybody around it. Like this is like one of those really good moments. Like after everything's all taken care of, or after the calamity has been all shut down, it's kind of like this is the cleanup effort, and everybody working together in the cleanup effort and being happy and thankful, like we're able to actually clean up, and we are happy and thankful for who is still here to clean up with us. It's kind of like that feeling. Now, things are good. We got. It's not over yet. We got a bit more. Now you're going to try to pass this on to other people. What do we mean? So this situation was a calamity, went a little bit crazy, hit a moment of healing, and then improving it afterwards. You're going to take this information and apply it in other places in your life. You're very proactive at this moment. When I'm feeling the Kuan Yin, again, I'm an intuitive reader, I'm getting like, you're seeing the beauty of this situation and how much that could add beauty to other things. And you're like, we don't have to wait for some other situation to fall apart before we make it better. I'm seeing a situation over here that I'm connected with, you, the Scorpio. I'm going to start applying this now. I'm going to see if we can get on this page. Like, why wait for it to fall apart? That person's bones, they're weak already. Why wait for them to have a problem? How about we go over there now, get their bones checked out, and if they could work out, if this could make their bones stronger too, let's do that. Let's help them get stronger bones now before they have a problem. That's kind of, I know that's a weird analogy, but I think you know what I'm saying. You're heading out towards that. Openness to the Emperor. You're helping somebody else strengthen themselves greatly. It may be a weird analogy. I hope it makes sense. You're taking this information. You're seeing somebody else like, hey, before you hit that roadblock, let's find a way to make this so you can just kind of deal with it, and we can deconstruct that roadblock before you even come to it. You're helping somebody get a lot stronger. Life journey, meeting angels, and the Three of Wands. You're helping somebody have the opportunity to not have a roadblock moment. You know, the roadblock, like you got to find a way to deal with it. You're like, hey, before you see that roadblock, I know it's 5 miles down the road, but you know what? If we start doing this now, we can take that roadblock down before you even get to it. So you're, instead of having to deal with the roadblock when you come to it, dealing with it on your way to it gets it out of the way. You don't have to have that problem. And you're giving somebody that opportunity to remove that. The angel thing here, with the life journey, with the Three of Wands, all this together is telling me that. Like, here's your opportunity. You don't have to have that roadblock. We can actually handle it by dealing with it before we get to it. You're just really drilling it home with these people. Like me, I keep saying it like 50 times. Now, you got to keep in mind with this situation. It's kind of like that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but they have to want to drink. So keep that in mind. It's not your responsibility to force them to do things better. You're doing everything you can, and remember that. But it's always up to them if they're going to do that or not. You've got the Goddess card here with the High Priestess and the Six of Cups. The Goddess and the High Priestess together especially are like helping, caring, doing the best you can, applying or showing that information and trying to help them apply it is the best you can do it. You can't force them to do things better. And you got to accept that, like, if they're deciding that it's their life path to not deal with that roadblock until it's right in front of their face and they have to deal with it, then that's them. You got to let them do that. Six of Cups adds in there in the sense of, like, you've come across these situations before. And some of these people you try to help, and it's probably going to be a repetitious thing. I see this a lot with, like, children, sometimes siblings, friends, parents even once in a while, where you try to help them and they fight you. And they fight you every step of the way. With those situations, you still want to try to help, yeah. Give the information and just let them do what they're going to do, and just realize you did your best to try to help them. It's up to them to do what they can with it after that. You're giving this person a chance to do better. The Seven of Wands is you need to just hold strong with your positioning, knowing you're doing your best to help somebody and be at peace. No matter how it turns out after that, you did your part to try to help, and you brought this information forward. You can't force somebody to do something better. You know what I mean? You just can't. So, and I feel some of you saying, well, I swear I hear somebody out there going, oh yeah? Watch me. You gotta do what you think is right. And I get that, because I hear that. Somewhere out in the distance, someone's like, you don't think I can force somebody to do it better? Well, watch me, because I'm gonna. You gotta do what you think is right. It's kind of funny, but it's just not gonna stick. You know what I mean? It's just not going to stick unless they commit to it themselves. So they're saying the best outcome for this is you being at peace that you tried your best, and just realizing giving this person a shot to do it better is the best you could do. How you're going to handle that is your business. Definitely your business. Anything else we need for this? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for purchasing. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.